how do you think about whether something is going to have a good ROI or not? Like when you're thinking about like the massive amounts of cash that get invested into these departments, how do you think about what's going to be like smart? How do you think about reducing risk? All of that kind of stuff. I think it'd be really helpful for people to hear.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I think a lot about these days is kind of the distraction factor of implementing new systems is really expensive the
Yeah.
larger you get. And so, being able to avoid that is key. And so, more actionably, I'd say for anyone pitching new software solutions, how is it going to be additive as opposed to yet another thing people need to log into, people need to, learn new processes around. And so that's a key thing that we look at from an ROI perspective is not just, the beneficial pieces, but actually subtracting out kind of what's it going to take, what's the overhead going to be for our team to get up to speed on this and then maintain it over time, as well as, any complexity that's added to other teams. If we need to implement a new tool, but our engineering team needs to go integrate something across the whole platform, that goes from, what could have been the flip of a switch to maybe something that takes a month, because it needs to get prioritized and then actually built. So that's kind of how we're looking at it from a high level is, positive ROI, how much time can it save the team, as well as what direct ROI can there be? Maybe it's improving conversion, maybe it's bringing in more leads, but then what are the costs internally for that too on the other side?
Yeah. So along these same lines, if let's say that someone at your company, your VP of marketing, let's say, um, is wanting to bring in a marketing solution, I'm curious how do you like stuff like that to be presented to you? Like, do you want to look at a business case? Like, how do you look at the numbers or the ROI? How detailed would you get on a big ticket purchase?
It definitely depends on the size of purchase. If it's
Yeah.
something small, you know, then not as much so. But if it's going to be tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars of investment, that's going to get a much harder look. And as you go
Yeah.
higher up in that, certainly more and more of a deep dive. And what I would want to understand when evaluating that is how are we solving the problem today? Maybe it's human
Yeah.
manpower. Maybe we have 5 people working on something that with a new tool, they would only need to spend half their time on, and they could focus on other things. Or maybe we have some really antiquated tool that's kind of working, but doesn't have some of the capabilities of the new tool. And then I would also want to understand what else is out there. We never want to just be making a decision in a silo. We want to understand, like, okay, here's the thing we're evaluating. What's kind of best in class in the market? Is it this? Is it a different tool? And we just happen to hear about this other one first, and kind of get that full spectrum, and then do an analysis of both. Do we want to invest in this right now? But then if we are going to invest, which of those is truly going to have the best ROI for us?